himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here, but I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the round pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order, but Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. And Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
down. Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, while this is not the sultry voice of Mr. James Parfitt, this is Bradley Dalton, and I want to welcome you to JP Broadcasting Network to Round 6, live here from Twin Ring Motegi for the NASCAR Thunder Special, sponsored by Sid Keshishian here at the Twin Ring Motegi, the Motegi Mobility Resort, 1.5 mile little off-shape oval in Motegi, Japan, here at a fun little track in Japan. It is foggy here, and it does also show over on the broadcast, and of course, just be ready for a little bit of action to come your way, a little bit of fun. Let's go ahead and let's talk for a second about the standings here of the Gen 4 here in Season 4. This is after 7 of 14 races with 2 drop weeks applied. We've got Chad Bear up on top at 265 points with 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 5 starts. So a very, very good running ratio there. Kyle Gresh in second place at 247 points. Ben Harcum at 243. Brad Kress running at 233. Matthew Parasini at 228. Al Corey at 223. And then Dustin Barton and Ryan Hyatt running 1 point between each other at 219 and 218 respectively. Jason Benson and John Campbell, 206 and 186 here. With 2 drop weeks supplied, Chad Bear is looking to hold on. And of course, if you want to get involved with triple bypass racing here, 5 nights of racing, Gen 4s on Sundays, late models on Tuesdays, Wednesday is road racing, Friday is road racing, and Thursday is the classic Xfinity Series. So if you're looking to get involved, sessions open at 8:15 Eastern Time. Qualifying is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, those 5 nights of the week. It is, of course, the big season here at Triple Bypass, so check them out at triplebypassracing.com. Join the Discord, get involved, and we'd love to see you out on the track. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at something a little bit unique. JP Broadcasting Network bringing in something special, and while we talk about that, why don't I just go ahead and show you what's special here. Let's check out an onboard here of a Mr. James Parfitt. Yes, this is the JP Broadcasting, the boss, the big man in charge, currently putting down his qualifying laps here, and we'll see how he can go here as qualifying is getting underway, and he is giving it his best effort here, as you can see, and we're going to ride on board with him here around this unique little twin ring Motegi. You can see him coming down the main straight. Turns 1 and 2 are the wider ovals, and the road track, of course, does run underneath the ovals. So as you watch him go around, just watch how he hugs that inside line. He's doing very, very well to keep it on the track, and then as he comes through here into 3 and 4, turns 3 and 4 are a little bit more unique for him. So as he hits that and goes through, you'll see here in the 000, he's going to hit turn 3. It's a little bit different, a little bit tighter. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing really, really well here. And then he'll come around turn 4 out onto the main straight. See a little bit run, but James Parfitt is going to go ahead and throw in a time here that is going to get him a nice, respectable 37.66. Not a bad time at all. Not the slowest in the session either, which is what I believe he was worried about, other than just not bending it. So, Mr. Parfitt, congrats on a good quali lap. You've got one more lap to go. Keep it going, my friend. Keep it going for one more good lap here. Yeah, but you're not doing bad at all. Again, Mr. Parfitt is not the slowest on the track, so he's not going to be starting last place. He is going to be sitting there around, you're currently sitting there P11, so not a bad display at all. I'm quite satisfied with seeing that through. And as drivers continue to come around here, you've got Ben Harcum, who is still out on track. and trying to take laps around. So Ben Harkham is going slow, but most of the drivers here have got their laps going and going through. You can see Mr. Jason Benson there, who is going to be gridding up beside Sir, is going around, and it looks like he is actually done with his laps, putting in time. So we'll just be waiting on the iRacing style session to end here as it goes, and it shouldn't be too far away. So now we'll just kind of enjoy the scenes. Yeah, I think you're going to be okay, honestly, as we watch things go through and we just wait on the last couple of sessions to finish up. I think you're going to be okay, but, you know, it's a good little race here. It's not too long of a race. I think you'll be there in the end. Just, again, I think the key is not to cause the caution. So... Hey, you never know where things will land here in the series, and we are going to go through the qualifying grid here as it stands, and let's check it out here because it's 17 drivers getting ready to bring us some good action here, and it is Ben Harkham who finds his way top of the leaderboard here, 37.024, very respectable time coming in. Dustin Barton in second place, Ryan Hyatt P3, Matt Parasini in fourth, Brad Kress in fifth, Al Corey in P6 here, Iris Ashby, she finds her way in P7, John Campbell in eighth, Mike Weeda in 9th, Ward Fisher 10, the Naj Crutchley in P11, Mark Herzog 12, Jason Benson P13, James Parfitt in P14. We'll see how long that one stands. I'm going to imagine he works his way in the top 10 fairly quick. Brian Cooper P15, Cameron Kane in 16th, and Grant Parker in P17. So that is how things line up, and as the drivers get ready to hit the grid, the big key to surviving this race is just don't let the car take you out. That is, I think, going to be the big question is what can you do to hold this car together and not let it take you away? Cowboy, take me away. Gen 4, take me away. It's going to be interesting to see from top to bottom as we see the cars getting out here on the track. We'll kind of enjoy this moment here because, again, this is a uniquely shaped track. It is an oval, but I'll bring up the track map here for everybody watching on YouTube because it is... It's unique.
Me before you, but I couldn't hear him, so my bad. Love you all. But yeah, this is going to be exciting. I'm a bit apprehensive.
But why would you be apprehensive? It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
Because I've just been spun on the pace lap.
Oh, not this. Not this. What happened?
I just got put in on the bum.
I looked away for 1 second and didn't see what happened here. Let's see if we can get...
Yeah, you terminated me already on the pace lap.
Oh my gosh. Let's go back live actions here. Let's get ready to get going because it's going to be... Oh, it's going to be one of those races. It's going to be a great one.
Literally got terminated on the pace lap.
Yeah, but you've got plenty of time to recover, James. Plenty of time to recover. Let's get ready to go here.
I'm good, boys. I'm good now.
Oh, pace car is on the inside lip here. We'll see how this goes. TP Sim Racing says the boss man is causing trouble again. I don't think he's causing trouble.
No, do a replay of that. I got hits up the bottom. Excuse me.
Let's get the replay, because that's the 037 just completely extended you around.
Yeah,
Did not want you involved. Oh my gosh. He just said, hey, James, nice of you to be here.
Yeah, Cameron Kane just punting me off. Behave yourself, TP. It's not me. We are doing this. This is a very interesting one.
Oh, this is going to be a good race all the way through. So now we just bring things around, and everybody is going to get ready to go here, and we're going to get ready for a fun time here at Twin Ring Motegi. It's going to be fun for me, James. I think you'll be okay. Don't you worry.
All right.
Oh, let's see. We wait on things to come around. Green flag's underway, and everybody's getting away. And you can see there, Ben Harcum getting away very well. The number 13 of Barton is trying to get away. He got a little bit snappy on the exit, but as we dive into turn 1, Ben Harcum is going to hold on to it here. Ryan Hyatt in 3rd place, trying to go up the inside in that number 3 and take it to 2nd. Parasiti is in 4th, trying to keep things around. 5th place there is the number 9 of Crest, and that classic Dodge livery in this Gen 4. But it is Barton on the outside, and as you can see, the front 4 keeping things very, very competitive, other than Ben Harcum, who's taking off here. But Ryan Hyatt there up the inside, holding on to it, and Mr. Barton has been left on the outside to dry, so Dustin Barton has found out real quick that if you end up on that outside line, it is not the way to go. He's losing time out. Everybody away pretty well. Mark Herzog in the background getting around Fisher. Fisher back up the inside, though, around on Herzog and gets around. And as we go, it's 17 cars started and 17 cars still running through. So we're going to keep things moving here with Ben Harcum up front. Keeps things going. Lap 2 of 110 laps here at Twin Ring Motegi. Should go very, very quick and be nice and competitive for these 17 guys. The number 24 here, Parasini, is still trying to put pressure on Hyatt, and he still has Barton for company. Barton slotted back down on that inside and is holding on to P4. Number 3, a little bit of a snap there in that Coca-Cola livery, but he's going to hold on and try to keep things going further back here. Iris Ashby, she is running a great little livery there. I love that number 94, the livery there on the inside, and is going to just keep it around, keep it going, and is just trying to chase down that number 9 of Crest as she can, and it's going to be a nice 110 laps, so no sense to do anything too crazy. You can hear the boss man in the background going, oh, so I got to wonder what the boss man is into.
I just gained places at the start, and then I crazily lost places because I applied the throttle a bit too much coming out of the corner. It's very loose. It's very cold. Like, it just doesn't like it. This car on cold tires is horrendous, and you've just got to make sure that you want to almost chuck it in and hope it sticks kind of scenario, but it just doesn't want to. Don't do that on the apron either, because otherwise it will want to kill you. But yeah, it's been a great, interesting start. We're still going, which is always good. I'm not, the main boy, but we're here. But
the boss
I've just punked the wall. But yeah, it's all good. Carry on.
Yeah, so as we ride on board here, and a big shout out to James for giving me this onboard feed of his car as we watch it go through. You can see that this track is not a simple track to make its way around. You've got to be very, very confident and comfortable in what you're doing here. And you can see Ben Harcum is really showing nice and comfortable up front, running through, gets away nice and comfortably. And then you've got Hyatt, you've got Parasini, you've got Dustin Barton there in 4th place, who's still down 2 places, but trying to run through. Behind, it's going to be Cress to Iris Ashby. She, again, it's just sticking nice and comfortable in that 94. You've got Al Corey, the big boss here, who is trying to make a run, currently sitting in P7 at the moment and running up the inside. And then you've got Mark Herzog running around there in 8th, up 4 places. Cameron Kane's up 7 places in the 9th. And then your top 10 there is going to be Ward Fisher. Behind, it's Benson and Naj Crutchley there in the number 48. And then John Campbell, Grant Parker, Mike Weeda, James Parfitt, and then Brian Cooper back in last place, who's about halfway off the pace here, running back. Leaders are coming through on the start-finish line, and he is just now hitting turn 2. So you can see everybody's kind of nice and close here, but we're trying to keep things going and keep things moving around. And at the moment, Ben Harcum with a nice dominating pace here and keeping things nice and comfortable. Dustin Barton probably kicking himself off that race start, but is still staying with that lead pack. And I think that's the key here at Twin Ring Motegi. And you just need to hold on and survive. It is just a unique track. Make sure you've got 1 and 2 well. Make sure 3 and 4 go well. And just remember, it's 2 separate sides to the same track that are set up very differently. And it's so weird because 1 and 2 seem to be more like a super speedway oval sort of setup, and then 3 and 4 feel like a much tighter turn than 1 and 2 are. So as we watch here with checking out Brad Kress, who's chasing down Matt Parasini slowly but surely, has Dustin Barton just behind for company. So everybody's starting to spread out a little bit. Everybody's starting to build a bit of a gap, and nothing too crazy going on. Everybody's just trying to survive their own race. And why does I say that? Ryan Hyatt into the wall. I believe I have successfully committed the commentator's curse for the first time today.
Is he in the wall? Yellow flag in the wall.
He is dropping down the order. I believe he jumped to the pit lane as I can't see him anymore. So something happened with him. We'll see if we can get a quick replay of what happened, if I can. I don't actually think it even registered anything. He just snapped off to the left and then came back through. But very unfortunate to see that is how that occurred. But Ryan Hyatt now dropping way back into P16 and is now a lap down. And yeah, I can't get any view on him here, so I think that is Ryan Hyatt's race day over. And also Brian Cooper into the pits. And it looks like Brian Cooper might be down. So, Mr. Parfitt, you are currently running P15. How's it feeling for you?
P15, that would be last place, right?
No, you've got 2 people behind you that are out.
Yeah, but... it's all right. I'm still trying to get turn 3 and 4 without it wanting to kill me. On that wall hit, though, I have damaged my steering. And my steering's a little bit wonky donkey. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the relative because I know I've got the leaders coming around with me as well. I'm going to give them the complete inside if I can. But yeah, I've got to be a little bit more mindful. It's very interesting the way this race circuit is. As you say, it's like a wide super speedway, but then it tightens up, almost kind of Martinsville-esque. It gets really quite tight on you as you're coming around turn 3 and 4. So it's very interesting here as well how it's going to be panning out, and one that I think could be very exciting. But at the moment, me with my wonky donkey steering seems to be doing a lot better than I did when it was straight, so maybe I won't bother repairing it, to be fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you there. I mean, if it works, it works. Don't mess it up. And now Grant Parker into the pits here as the leaders come down the main straight. So Ben Harkham through. And James, you're now up into P14. Just keep it on track, mate. That's all I can ask is keep it on track and you're in for a good finish here.
Well, I'm going to keep trying. But yeah, it's eating tyres quite rapidly at the moment. So it's getting very, very loose as we speak. So it's, going to be an interesting one, I think. I think tyres could be a thing here as well. You want to try and maintain them, but it's quite hard to maintain them because although the upper banking on the right-hand side looks like you can run round there at quite a pace, you can't because your car just kind of sticks to it. You almost end up like Velcro and you just end up being pulled into it, Brad. And I think that's the thing. You've got to kind of stay out of it here as well. We managed to avoid. Hey, I missed it. That's all that matters. So you've got to be a bit mindful and a bit careful, and I think you might be all right, but it is tough. You can't run that high line like you think you could on a super speedway. You think you could hold it and put your foot down on it, Brad, but you definitely can't. You've got to lift. You've got to make sure you can set it up, and go out the other way. And I always remember that string theory. Who was it that told us that? It was one of the Hazlitt boys.
Oh, it was.
So, string theory. So I'm trying to remember that, but at the moment that's quite hard with wonky donkey steering.
Yeah, wonky donkey steering. TP Sim Racing in the chat says it affects tire wear badly. So I do think the tires are going to be an issue, and I think tires are starting to come to play because I know you can't see it on your screen, but right now we're starting to get a battle for the lead building up between Parasini and Harkham here, who are running through. And while these guys are chasing, I do want to take a second and catch something that I missed in the beginning. A big shout out to today's race sponsor, number 19, Sid Keshishian, who is not racing with us today here in these Gen 4s, but a big shout out because Sid Keshishian is, to quote the big boss man Al, is who made this possible. So I want to make sure to give Sid his appropriate time, his appropriate thanks, and a big bow from everyone here for making today's event possible. So thank you, Sid, and I'll be sure to shout you out again as we go through. But right now, it's that chase for the lead between Parasini and Harcum. Matt Parasini, Ben Harcum. It's the case of who can get away with it here, and I think at the moment, it might be Matt Parasini's race to lose because he is right on the back here of Ben Harcum. He's trying his best. I mean, he's been gaining, he's been losing, he's been gaining, he's been losing. He's given it a lot of run, and even then, we've got a good battle here for P11 of Mike Wida and Ward Fisher that's been shaping up a little bit. Those guys are starting to close gaps between themselves and are starting to go back and forth. You can see a little bit of a gap's opened up now, but it wasn't that way not too long ago, so those guys were a bit closer. Keep an eye on the gaps as they web and flow. Some of the gaps are starting to open up a bit, but it's still gonna be a long race. We're only lap 16 of 110 out of the way, so we're still running through. You can see on the board, Parker's in the pits, Cooper's down 7 laps, Hyatt's down 4, Mr. Parfitt is down a couple of laps here, but that is nothing to write home about on lap 17 of 110. There's still lucky dogs. There's still plenty of opportunities to find things around, and as long as you're on track, I think you're having a pretty good race.
Yeah, I'm having a good time now. I'm in with people, so it makes it even more interesting. But as you say, it's oh, got that. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one for me more than these guys. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not a moving roadblock, unfortunately. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've got to give the tyres a minute to warm up because they really do not like coming out of the pits and being full throttled. So you've got to make sure that you're well and truly suited, should we say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And James, how many pit stops am I expecting you to make through this race? How many really on a fuel run?
Well, I've got rid of my wonky donkey steering, so if I'm going to a fuel one, I should get to the end because we know they don't fuel. Tyres is going to be very hard, right? After about 17 laps, you're kind of a little bit eaten. And you're trying to brake as well, but you can't over-rotate the corner. But you've also got to try and do it at pace, which is really weird because you just want to kind of hammer it round, but you can't. You've got to make sure that you're there. And with only 3 sets of tyres, it's going to be tough. There's going to be some slidey people a little bit later on. So just keep an eye out for the slippery tyres, as some of these guys will end up struggling with tyre wear. And I'm starting to think that I might end up changing my line coming out of 1 and 2. I'm a little bit tight, which is making it very hard to hold on to that inside line. So yeah, be aware, it's going to be very, very tight for some people as it goes on.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all. And we're watching Ben Harcum here, Mr. Sexy Waltrip, running his line out of 1 and 2, and he is hugging he's hugging very, very low through 1 and 2. So he's got it very under control there, and you could see, at least on my side, I hope you're not trying to watch the broadcast and drive, James, but you can see on my side, he's pretty comfortable. So
why would I watch a broadcast and drive?
Hey, listen, you're the boss man. I don't question what you do. I just say I hope you're not doing it. If you're doing it, it's not on me.
Well, I can tell you, TP, there was only one, and unfortunately I've had to use mine because my steering was very wonky indeed. So you only get one fast repair, so after this, anything after this, and I'm going to be buried and sat in the pits for ages, but let's hope we don't here as well. I've never done a lap race over 100 laps, so I'm hoping that I won't need to, nip off for the toilet halfway through or something.
Nah, I think you'll be fine going through. I think the adrenaline will keep you moving and keep things going and just keep things nice and relaxed. TP Sim Racing says it's important to stay 1 lap down. Once you hit 2, things can get a bit harder, and he's not wrong, but here's the thing, too. These triple bypass guys can race very clean to the end and keep things together, so it is possible for these guys to keep this whole race green if they can. And I'll tell you what, Barton dropping down against Corey, dropping another place out. Corey working it up into P4 in that number 45 machine. Excuse me, that number 45 machine. And is going to keep trying to push it forward here. See where he can go. Corey, pointing out to us last week as well when we broadcast the Xfinity Series, Canadian. However, we all had a question. Why is he showing Canadian? He's American. Well, because his hometown is in Canada. even though he is American now. His hometown was indeed in Canada. So that does explain the Canadian tire livery. So I thought I'd mention that as well for Mr. Al Corey. We understand you're Canadian, and we do apologize, even though he apologized to us.
Yeah, he did rib me in chat for that after as well. Said I did make him laugh when I brought that up. It was a little bit strange. I think there was a nickname actually given to him, and I can't quite remember what it was. It was some other weird American... it was like an American-Canadian mix. So, yeah, very interesting from Al Corey there as well. I am the lead lap car, I believe. I think there's a couple of disconnections that seem to be coming in, so I'm wondering if he's been disconnected, him and Brian Cooper. So I'm not sure if they're still running or not. I haven't got them as out, though. So can I have that inside line, sir? Thank you very much, as I just passed JC. Sorry, JC. Love you, bro.
John Campbell staying very wide there through 1 and 2
Yeah,
as well.
good idea. It was a good idea to give him as much room as possible, just in case I washed out.
Yeah, and behind you all is the number 3 coming up of Hyatt, but Hyatt's, of course, a couple laps behind you, but trying to get around and get through and lap around. But nobody wants to cause any drama, any issues, so that 117 of Campbell just letting you all through your lap traffic. He's not looking for too much of a fight at the moment. However, you do have a Mr. Ryan Hyatt that's approaching behind you a bit, and I am showing Brian Cooper still on track here in hat number 96, a little ways back from you all, but is still showing on track. Ben Harcum up in the lead has opened up a 3.5 second gap on Brad Crest. Brad Crest in P2 and Matt Parasini in P3 here, just showing plenty of space. No big crazy issues, but you can see the cars coming through. P7, P8, Herzog and Crutchley are fairly close together. P9 and 10, Benson and Weta are fairly close together as well. So we'll just have to watch and see how these fights develop as they continue. Nobody's really too close to each other. They're close enough that if a mistake happens, it could cause a good battle, but nobody is too close at the moment.
I'm going to try him. I've just been passed by Ryan Hyatt, and I tried to stay with him. But then when I put the throttle down coming out, my back end decided that it wanted to try and terminate itself. So I had to lift suddenly coming out of turn 4, sorry, as well. But yeah, it's getting very slow now. You can feel the movement almost out of the tyres already. And I pitted, not very long ago. So how's everybody else holding on to these? I do not know. Look at... Thank you.
You know, I'm not going to question it, James, how people have tires that are lasting longer than you. I'm going to say it's a hacks here as a...
No, it's a skill issue.
No. I'll never tell you it's a skill issue to you, but Miss Iris Ashby going around the outside of you, she does a good clean pass there out of the pits. Is a lap down. You're 2 laps down. Iris Ashby's been into the pits here. It looks like basically everybody in the top 12 is still going to have to make a pit stop. Everybody back who is laps down have made a pit stop at some point. So nothing too crazy here as we see the boss man trying to keep the lead going here. And Crest still keeping things around. Mr. Parasini in P3 still going through. Let's kind of run down the order here and watch the cars as they go through. Al Corey bringing it around here out of 4 now. Nice and comfortable. Dustin Barton up into 5th place as it runs. You got P6 here of Kane. P7 running around of Herzog. Herzog keeping it nice and comfortable in that number 57, that bright yellow number 57 machine. P8 Crutchley. P9 is Benson. You can see Herzog and Naj starting to get caught up there. And then behind that is Jason Benson, who's just trying to make a run here. And then from there, you've got Mike Weta, Ward Fisher, John Campbell, and then back from there, it is Iris Ashby, Mr. James Parfitt a couple laps down. It is going to be Ryan Hyatt, who you see is trying to work his way back forward, Brian Cooper, and Grant Parker. So that is your current grid standing here on lap 30 of 110.
Turn up your tyre sounds. I have, and I'm squealing. I'm like a piggy out of market at the moment. It's like in my euro. So I'm trying to control them as best as I can, but it's not the most easiest thing here, especially when obviously you got people who are pick a line, dude, pick a line. No, you. Nah. Who was that? Ward Fisher. I think that's the thing. Everybody's going to be struggling, and if you haven't pitted already, you're gonna need to soon, because you're not going to have much left in shape of tyre. Where I think somebody did a test earlier on, and they went 16 laps, and it only left them with 75%. So they've got to be a little bit smart on the tyre wear.
Yeah, tire wear, I think, is starting to play an issue here as Mr. Naj Crutchley up the inside here of Herzog, trying to get the pass done through 1 and 2. And as they come out, and that number 3 is going to want to sneak through as well. Hyatt's, of course, a lap car down, but is just working his way through the field, wants to be in the best position to try to gain a lap back here. And that number 57 stays wide on the outside, so Herzog gives it up as well for Ashby. And now Herzog down a bit on Crutchley. Crutchley runs it high, though, so as they come out of 4, there is a chance to switch back. Oh, Crutchley getting very brave there as Herzog is trying to make a run, trying to have a run in on Mr. John Crutchley. As we hit 1 and 2, you can see the gaps opened up, so Mr. Herzog settling in a little bit here, and John Crutchley is going to give it a bit of space. That's your big battle there. And now, look at this battle for P2 starting to develop that's showing up. So, battle for P2 opening up is Mr. Matt Parasini and Brad Kress are having a bad time. I got to wonder if Mr. Matt Parasini is starting to wear out on his tires, and that is letting Brad Kress catch up, because Brad Kress has been sitting back. But then, that makes me wonder what Mr. Ben Harkham has been doing, because Ben Harkham has over a 5-second gap at the moment at the lead of the field. He's hitting the backstretch as they are just now coming through the middle of 2. So you got to wonder, what has Ben Harkham done? What has Sexy Waltrip with his Napa know-how done on the inside of that car to keep things going and open up a 5-second gap?
Is that Sexy Waltrip in that car, or is he running the Sexy Waltrip livery?
It's the Sexy Waltrip livery.
Right, Ben Harkham then is running Carl Gretsch's livery, because it's Carl Gretsch who was Sexy Waltrip. So he's obviously rocking the Sexy Waltrip livery, but Carl Gretsch is the main YouTube man out of Sexy Waltrip. So yeah, go check him out on YouTube, Sexy Waltrip. There as well. It's actually Carl Gretsch. So Harkham's running Gretsch's livery.
Arkham's running Gretsch's livery, but he's still taking that Napa know-how to run that Gen 4 forward. So
yeah, it's a Napa blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it says "sexy" right on the front. I love
it.
Yeah,
it's definitely Carl Gretsch's livery. I'm going to say they are struggling. They are struggling due to the fact that I've now fought and passed people. So I don't know how they're holding this, to be fair, but there's a big washout in front of me with Mike Weeder. He's starting to wash out, and I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these guys are down into 3rd gear coming through turn 3 and 4, because you can't hold it in any other way unless you're going to drop right the way down. But they're definitely struggling here as well at the back.
I'll tell you who is also struggling. Crescent Corey, this is the battle for P3 on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the battle shaping up, and you can see Parasini is just barely staying ahead. This gap is continuing to open up to Ben Harkham, and it's a 3-way battle for P2. I know you can't see it right now on your screen, James, but it's a very, very close battle. It's very, very nip and tuck back and forth as the number 13 of Dustin Barton dives into the pits for the first time here. Lap 36 of 110, and I think the tires really are feeling it for some of these guys.
Oh, bro, yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he took all 4, to be fair, because this is quite an horrendous time back here when you're trying to, obviously, you got the Herzog's just on the verge of snapping. He managed to hold it, but boy, oh boy, that was close as well. And you've got to be gentle. You can't come out of here and just put the throttle down. You've got to be, it's like treating baby steps, these guys, you know, and that's the thing there as well, is you've got to make sure that you're not just about to try and do what I did, get up into 4th. Herzog's on the pits, so he's gone in as well. So Mark's in the pits once again. Weeder can't be far behind him. I think, has Ward Fisher been in? Because all of a sudden he's now catching me like a freight train.
Ward Fisher has not been in yet, so Ward Fisher is still not pitted.
Well, maybe we're just hanging on to the fact that we had a little bit of a conflict. But, yeah, no, it's going to be tough. They've got to start coming in soon. And Parasini, I believe, is in as well.
Yep, Parasini is in. Brad Kress is in. So we're starting to see the leaders make that decision and go through. And I believe we're going to see more people, as you said.
Weeder's on his way as well. Weeder's on his way in.
Yeah, plenty of people. Benson's in. Weeder's in. Fisher's in. More cars coming through. So everybody has decided that enough is enough. We are done with this. And I can't say I blame him, just being an observer and hearing James talking. You're talking and then you just hear, oh, and then you go back into your sentence. I know that this has not been a fun little moment for you. And you see even more cars diving into the pits now. Corey.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. These tyres now, what did I pit back on lap 9?
You pitted on lap 13.
Lap 13. So I've got 26 and they're really bad. Herzog has decided to wants to kiss my door on the way through. So cheers, Mark. But yeah, I'm really struggling to get this car rotated. You've got 3 sets, so you could do another set and go for another 20 something, but you really need to get to at least 70 if you can. I've got to get these tyres over 50 regardless, because otherwise I'm not going to have enough to finish. So yeah, it's interesting to say the least here.
Yeah, I think you're going to be okay, though. And right now, the only people that haven't pit is John Campbell, the Naj, and Ben Harcum. So the leader's still out. He's got a 19-second gap to Crutchley, and then Crutchley and Campbell have about 7 seconds between them. So a bit of a gap there, but then you go in and you've got, the likes of Matt Parasini, who's under some good pressure right now from Brad Kress, Iris Ashby, and Dustin Barton. That's a good 4-way battle that's shaping its way up just behind that should show some good action. And again, Ben Harcum, Crutchley, and Campbell stay out another lap, which is kind of surprising to me. Not what I expected. Side by side, down the main straight here goes Barton and Ashby. Ashby on the outside, Barton on the inside, and Barton is going to slide that way through. Hold on to that P6 at the moment with Ashby in P7, not far behind, given a good challenge and not too far off. Iris Ashby, she is on the attack very, very quickly, trying to chase forward.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's just been literally Mike Wheeler on new tyres. You can tell the difference because I've literally just been walked past as if I weren't even here by Wheeler. He just ran up the inside, and the tyres you wouldn't think makes a massive difference, but they do. You're almost bordering on the line of trying to let it roll round 2 and 3 so you don't kind of squeak them out. But it's very, very tough overall to try and hold on when your back end just wants to say, see you later. It's very tough.
It truly is, and I'll tell you right now that Matt Parasini is putting some good pressure ahead on Campbell, and then Brad Kress is right there in the mix as well. These guys are starting to cycle through. We've got most of the pit stops cycled out. I think the only people that haven't pit is still the Naj and Campbell. Those two still out, but Ben Harcum into the pits here, giving up the lead for a little bit, but Ben Harcum back out here as Parasini comes around. We should see him up the inside here, just ahead at the pit exit. He's got a bit of a lead.
Yeah, I bet it has. What's he got? 6 and 8? 6 and 8? 6.8.
He had it, and now actually it's side by side. Parasini and Harcum there at the pit exit. I think Parasini is going to get the run. So Matt Parasini getting ahead of Ben Harcum. Ben Harcum actually losing his lead when pit stops finally cycle through. Of course, once Crutchley and Campbell pit, it will be Parasini ahead. So those new tires making a big difference. But Ben Harcum is going to look up the inside. He's not close enough to make a dive into 1 and 2. So new tires, the undercut seems to be the way to go here. And that tells me that drivers are going to think about pitting a little bit sooner on that second set of pit stops. Tires showing a big difference here. And you can see Ben Harcum probably kicking himself for staying out just a couple laps too long. If he had pit just 1 or 2 laps sooner, he could be ahead right now of Parasini, but he's not. Vinaj Crutchley into the pits now, and he is slowly trekking his way down pit lane as the leaders come down the start-finish straight. And there we go. It is Matt Parasini running around. Who is that ahead of them? That's the yellow 96, I believe that is. No, we don't have a... No, that is the yellow 96, the Cooper. There we go. So they get the lap traffic out of the way, no issues. And again, it's Parasini and Harcum that are just going to battle it out for the next little bit. Lap 44 of 110 here. And James, how's your car feeling here? Lap 44 of 110. You've used your fast repair. You've gotten it through. You're down the main straight now. You're looking pretty solid as far as I can tell.
Well, I'm still going. I will say the car has got a lot looser than what I was expecting. And I'm having to dab the brake through 1 and 2 to try and hold on, because I've got a funny feeling if I start heading up to the wall mid-corner, I could be in deep trouble. So I've got to be a little bit more mindful. I'm coming off a little bit earlier, coming into 2 and 3 to hold it on the inside, partly because I'm losing a lot of my tyres as I start drifting out on the exit there as well. So yeah, it's getting nice. No, stop. Don't. Oh, good. I didn't cause a yellow. Oh, no.
You got the leaders coming behind you. You got the leaders coming behind you, James.
I need to get this off. Oh, I apologize. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, James, holding on to it. You got the 13, Mr. Barton, coming up on your inside. Keep it together. Oh, and the leaders coming through very, very quickly there, because that was Ben Harkham and Matt Parasiti battling for the lead. They're side by side out of 3. They negotiated. Mr. Parfitt catching it. Very, very good save coming there out of 2. And now as we go down the main straight, it's a drag race right now for the lead. Oh, it's Harkham, Parasiti. It's going to be Harkham on the inside. He just barely has it here. And as we enter 1 and 2 side by side, Mr. Parasiti has a bit of a run here. But as we hit the exit, it is going to be Harkham that has it a little bit more. It's still side by side as we exit turn 2. They're side by side for the lead on lap 47, and they keep swapping back and forth. Harkham Parasiti, I don't know who has this right now, but it does look like finally as we hit the entry of 3, Ben Harkham is gonna have enough that he could shut the door. He is now back up in the lead here. We'll see if Parasiti can battle it. And James, thank you for saving that. That was so close.
I didn't have a choice, really, to be honest. I think if I hadn't saved it, I could have been under... I probably wouldn't have been loved. Let's just put it that way. So, there we go. But I'm all right. I'm still going, which is good. However, my steering is back to being a little bit more rinky than it really should be. So, yeah.
Yeah, but at least you're still on the track. You're still running on lap 48. You're almost at the halfway point. 7 more laps to halfway through this 110 lap action here at Twin Ring Motegi. And you can see here right at the moment, it's Ben Harkham and Matt Parasiti battling out for P2. And then, of course, you have Brad Kress and Dustin Barton that are battling it out for 3rd place here. And they are doing their best to go through and keep things together. They're not too far away from each other here, as it is just a few seconds of a gap between them. They're holding on as best they can. The other big battle I see, other than the battle for the lead, is of course going to be right here between Benson and Herzog. You can see them just behind each other. They're about a half second separating the two, and they are trying to battle that out. That's your battle for P8 at the moment as it goes. Ward Fisher is catching up to John the Naj Crutchley, or sorry, no, yes, it is Ward Fisher and John the Naj Crutchley here, battling it out here for P11 this is going to be, and you can see they're keeping each other with a good battle. That battle for the lead has started to open up a bit, as it is about 0.8 of a second the gap between Harkham and Parasiti. So they have figured that out. As we've hit lap 50 of lap 110, where no cautions at all, and it's just one set of green flag pit stops that have kept these guys running this long. And I will say probably Campbell, James Hyatt, and Cooper and Parker. Cooper's in the pits, Parker's out, but the back 4 or 5 cars that you see on your screen are probably going to need to pit here not too far away. You consider that 40 laps is about the longest we saw someone go, with Ben Harkham going 41 laps and everyone else going between 35 and 40 laps. I would say that I would be expecting those who pit around the lap 10 mark, which it looks like was you, Mr. Parfitt, and Ryan Hyatt should be pitting here pretty soon.
Yeah, Ashby's starting to lose. I don't know what lap she pitted on, but she's starting to lose tyres as well. She's coming out the corner. Her back ends are getting a little bit loose there. So Iris Ashby, unfortunately, could be in the same boat I'm in. But it's really quite bizarre at the moment. I'm on a left turn oval, and my steering's going right. So, and now it's not going anywhere. James. Oh. I might have to go in a minute here, Brad, because my tyres, man, I might as well just be Bambi on ice out here at the moment.
Yeah, he's sliding like Bambi on ice at the Disney World exclusive. But Mr. James Parfitt is doing well, holding it together. You can see the number 57 there. If you look at the top in his mirror, coming around the inside, he's got the pack coming through. That's Herzog up on his inside. Behind him, that is Mr. Weeda that is going through. You can see James doing very well, doing the polite blue flag rule and letting them through, just wanting to stay out of the way of the incidents. And if you don't know what that's about, you'll have to go check out our Saturday stream where we streamed the 100 minutes of Qatar, and I think I got James on about a 15-minute tangent about blue flags. So I'll say that this is NASCAR.
Yeah, ranting blue flags. So, but there we go. It was what it was, unfortunately. Blue flags are blue flags.
That is true. Mr. Parfitt's into the pits now. So, James, tell me what your plan going to be here. Now you're pitting in. It's lap 54. What is your game plan for the rest of this race? You going to try to go the rest without another stop, or are you going to try to stop a little bit later?
You're not going to survive. I think the main point of it at the moment will be doing two things, right? Going, what was that? That was lap 9 to something, wasn't it? So 40 laps. So if I can get to lap 80 on the set I've got, that will leave me pretty in good stead. I've just taken off some little dodgy optionals at the moment because obviously I had wonky donkey steering. So, but yeah, if you can get to about lap 80, you should be good. So yeah, hopefully that's the plan.
All right. Another stop inbound for everyone, I would expect then. I don't think any of these guys are going to try to take it to the end here, but you can see the battle at the moment between Barton and Corey. Look at this gap, just a 1/10.5 separating these two, and you can see Al Corey is very, very hungry to try to get this run done as they go through. Oh, and a little bit of a mistake there from Barton. Let's Corey straight through, around, and out the outside, and that is P4. Thank you very much, he says.
Yeah. It looks like they're having a great little battle, to be fair. Not that I've got the broadcast on a separate monitor as I'm driving along here, but it does look like they're having a good old time. Now I'm into that phase. After doing the tyres, you're into that your tyres are cold phase. So it's now doing at least 1 or 2 laps at kind of 75% full to make sure the tyres are heated up enough before you start trying to throw it in. But you'll see the difference between the people that are on fresher tyres to the people that aren't. You know, and that's the thing. You've got to just make sure that you're going to hold your tyres now, because what you don't want to do is go out and scrub the life out of them straight away. You know, you've just got to be a little bit more mindful about what you're doing.
You know what, James? I got to ask, how do you feel about driving and being in the booth at all times? How's it working for you? Is it causing you any issues? Is it keeping you nice and comfortable? Kind of, where's this sitting for you on an experience? Would you do it again?
Yeah, you do it again. You've got to. The thing is, you've got to think about what you've got going on, right? So I've got engine noises, tyre noises that I'm trying to listen to make sure I'm not scrubbing. Obviously, I've got my spotter and that in my ear as well, telling me what is going on. It almost reminds me of working with Paul on a Saturday, you know, where you just don't want to be quiet, and you've got lots of things going around you, you know, all at the same time. And then, of course, I've got you alongside me as well. So it's like I'm having a party in my head at the moment because I've got that many voices going on.
And let's not mention the time of night that it is for you. Well, I guess time of morning, we can say. It is a nice little British morning for you. So you add about 6 hours to whatever time it is, Eastern Standard Time that you're watching. That's what time it is for Mr. James Parfitt over in the UK. So you add that on top of things, a little bit of tiredness. He's been broadcasting all day as well. And then he comes around and he's running these Gen 4s. I mean, kudos to him. He's putting in good lap times, though.
Yeah, you will now. Like, you'll see the difference between fresher tyres and older tyres. You know, you're trying to lay out what you want to do, but you know you need to go quicker, but you just can't go overly quick, because otherwise you'll be scrubbing the life out of your tyres in one foul swoop. So I can hold it now. You'll know when your tyres start going off, when your back end starts stepping out.
Yeah, and back in stepping out here for the number 42 of Benson is up the inside, is going to go Mike Weeda. Mike Weeda sliding the way through, and now we've got a 3-way battle if you include Iris Ashby. She is going to start feeling the pressure here of Mike Weeda, who's got some pace in that number 6. And then you've got Benson there around the outside, is going to go Weeda. Getting the pass done, goes high, and that's an unconventional passing way through 3 and 4. I didn't think we'd see any drivers take the high line through 3 and 4, but Mike Weeda does. Mike Weeda gets the pass done and is up into P7 as Ashby drops into the pits now, and it looks like Ashby is going to be in for a pit stop, another change of tires here. So 2 pit stops is what I'm expecting, but we'll keep watching.
That's going to be tough. That'll be tough if they manage to. So let's see how they get on. But yeah, I did see Ashby take a little bit of a moment. So maybe she's starting to lose her tyres here as well. You've got JC John Campbell's in the mix, isn't he, as well? So
yeah, you've got John Campbell there, lap down, but is trying to pass Brad Kress at the moment in that number 9, trying to get a bit of a run here and working his way back up. Trying to get that lap back. Currently is not the top car lap down, but the second car lap down is Fisher, and that 084 is the top car lap down. So it's, if we were to have a caution, I think Campbell would be in a bad position. We'll see how things go, though. And again, we're still seeing those gaps open up. So now we're hitting this weird point where the field is opening up a bit. And other than Jason Benson, who is trying to keep up with Mike Weida here and stay fairly close, there's not too much going on at the track at the moment. I think everybody's just trying to conserve those tires and kind of just make this race last and not have any incidents towards the end.
it's very difficult. Because you're almost, because you're trying to conserve that much, you're almost feeling like, well, in my shoes, obviously, you're feeling like you're slow at the same time. But you're looking and you're thinking, okay, so I'm doing one coming out the corner exit of 4 at about 125, 126 miles an hour. What was I doing when my tyres were done when I was coming out barely over 100? So you've got to think what you're trying to achieve in the long run, you know what I mean? And pick what you're doing with your tyres. And I don't know. I sound almost like I'm an expert, but I'm really not. It's just what I've learned while I've been doing this, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, here's the fun thing. You can take that commentary experience, too, of watching the guys and talking to the guys and hearing them discuss things and add all of that together and then just combine it and see how you run. You're not doing bad at all. You're doing better than I do. And this is not me saying that I will ever do a commentate and drive moment here on the JP Broadcasting Network, because I probably won't. But I'm just saying you're doing better than I could probably do with these guys. So hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you.
You should give it a try. It really is quite freaky, especially when you know you need to have a spotter on, right? Because obviously, you know, I wouldn't run a NASCAR race without a spotter. And obviously, you got Jim in my ear roll. I've got my spotter blaring at me every now and then when somebody's coming up behind me. It's definitely an experience. It's definitely an experience. And you're trying to concentrate to not do yourself and put yourself into the wall. So as I start sliding off there as well. So, yeah, not ideal. But overall, looks like a good race happening at the moment.
Yeah, good race here. And you've got Barton and looks like, who is that with Barton? It's Cameron Kane. It's not too far off the mix. So Barton and Kane here starting to catch up to each other. This is going to be a battle for P5 that starts to develop. So we'll see how these guys handle things. Up at the front, Ben Harcum is just on another world, running 37.9s. On the last lap, and 38.3 was the last time for Matt Parasini. So the leader is currently putting in some very, very competitive times and running significantly faster than the person in P2. And it's, excuse me, just continuing to open up that gap there and just keep things going. So Ben Harcum, 5.8 seconds to gap. Matt Parasini is losing time slowly but surely. I don't know what Ben Harcum has fueled that car with, but I mean, doggone, he is running it quick.
Yeah, you can keep it if you can keep tires, you're okay. And it's really bad at the moment because I can see Barton every now and then in front of me, and I can see him, and I'm like, oh, forgetting I'm about 5 or 6 laps down in the process. But you know, you get excited when you see a car in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
your big run right now needs to be on Hyatt, and I don't actually know where he's at. He's about 3/4 of a lap ahead of you, I believe. So
yeah, I've seen him. I can't quite get him. I had to go in and get some of them optionals done because my steering was a bit wonky. It's a lot better now, and I'm trying to hold on to the tyres to see if I could drive, because every time I went in, he went in. So without giving too much away, I'm trying to wait to see if I can outlast him on this tyre run and see if I can get him next time and at least finish ahead of Ryan Hyatt. That'll give me a little bit of a pleasurable scenario. But I've got to wait to see how long Hyatt will hold on for before he goes in.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad decision at all. And of course, you are going to be finishing ahead of Brian Cooper and Grant Parker. Both of those drivers have DNF'd out. So at the moment, you are beating 2 drivers. So you do have that under your belt to say, hey, I have beat Brian Cooper and Grant Parker here in Triple Bypass Racing. I don't recommend saying that to them, but you know, you do have that to say. As we see here, it looks like that is Barton getting passed by Mr. Cameron Kane. Around the inside goes Cameron Kane. Cameron Kane now up into 5th place. So a good battle happening through there in for P5. But these guys are, of course, 6 seconds back on P4. They're kind of in a league of their own. They got 15 seconds behind them to the next group of cars, which is Crutchley and Weta, and they've got 5 seconds ahead of them to Corey. So everyone's kind of spreading out in their own little mini packs, and just everybody, again, it's relaxing and trying to run their own race.
Yeah, that's the thing now. You're in that period where we're just trying to knock off laps at the moment, I think. You know, as much as I would love to get near Ryan Hyatt, I've also got to think about the fact of what I'm doing. I didn't brake early enough going into that corner, unfortunately. I nearly put myself in the wall. So you've got to start thinking, right, I've got to start hitting my braking markers. I've got to start now just making sure that I can get round. You don't want to hit the wall because although it's a little love tap, it does do damage. And I think, I can't think of who it was come over on the radio who said he got a meatball for hitting a wall. And that's the thing, although it's just a wall, it's a very dangerous wall to be hitting. So, and Mookie and Two Dogs, you're going to get me in trouble when you come in and start saying, oh, Pete Diddy in the house. Pete Diddy Perazzini. That was Ryan Hyatt's nickname, unfortunately, for him. And Ryan nearly got me in trouble when I mentioned that.
Oh boy, let's not get anyone in trouble, please, especially not when he's driving in the league. I don't need car-on-car action to happen here. We don't need to have to explain to the big boss man later exactly why there was a bit of a random wreck out of nowhere. Let's not get anyone in trouble, please and thank you. But
no, I'm sure he'll be all right. He did make me laugh earlier, though. He was like, oh, if you got another person in the booth with you, I don't see why you can't commentate at the same time. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're not the one having to do it, Al. You know what I mean? Give me a break here, son. But we're managing. I'm still doing on the exit of 4. Still coming out about 1:30, so I'm all right. And I'm getting closer to 5 and 6 because I'm seeing them in my mirrors. And I'm lifting a little bit earlier now. I'm braking a little bit softer. And I'm just making sure that I'm just holding on enough on the apex to come out, drift up the circuit, keep my string theory going, as I was told by one of the Haslets, and make sure I'm not trying to do too much with the wheels. So, yeah, trying to keep it as smooth as possible. I've got to outlast Hyatt on that next pit stop if he's got to go in again, because otherwise I'm never going to get him.
yeah, I will tell you, Hyatt has gained a lap back, so I'm not sure what's happened, but Hyatt's down 4 laps and you are down 5 laps, so something's came out somewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure what he did.
Harry Potter wand. He's got it all. He evaporated. Ryan Hyatt, you little Herbert. So there we go. Oh, well, I'm definitely going to be at the back end now, but we'll have fun while I'm here. Hey, I'm getting to drive the Gen 4, a very difficult circuit. This is going better than my Talladega experience in the Gen 4 earlier on.
Yeah, I know you've been telling me you've been learning a lot of NASCAR, so I'm just enjoying seeing the live experience, we'll say it. And I'll tell you right now, as far as other action on track, Mr. Parfitt, you are in a league of your own because the only other big battle that I am seeing right now is going to be the battle between Kane and Barton here. And other than that, it's typically just lap down cars trying to stay out of the way of the lead pack and trying to stay out of the way, as I believe we have Mr. Ben Harcum who is catching up to, who is that? That's our resident number Herzog of number 57 in that in and out. He is trying to stay ahead. He's 1 lap down. He doesn't want to go 2 laps down, so he's trying to just stay through. And then we've got some people going in the pits again. Matt Parasini's in, Al Corey's in, Cameron Kane's in. So the leaders, lap 75 of 110 here, starting to come into the pits again.
Is that their second stop now, though, isn't it?
That is going to be their second stop as they go in.
It's possible they might get to the end. Well, they've got 35. It's going to be difficult. They're going to be slipping and sliding on the way out, but they might just about make it to the end here. I can see Barton and Ward Fisher in front of me. I'm on the wall. Get off the wall. So I'm trying to just get myself involved in a little bit, to be honest. Because, it's like I've taken my nan for a Sunday drive at the moment. I ain't really done a lot.
Where did you get... Is your 4X from the formation lap?
Yes.
Okay. I saw it pop up and say 4X, and I was trying to think. I was like, wait a minute. When did James get in an incident? But no, that would...
That was Cameron Kane sending me around on the parade lap. And I don't know if that was just a, hi, James, how you doing? Or that was a James... get out of the way. So I'm not sure.
And for those of you wondering, let's jump back to the formation lap for a second, because here is exactly what happened as we go around and we see it was a bit of a love tap there. I mean, he just completely picked up the rear end of the car and sent it around. So I won't say too much with that. But yeah, so for those of you wondering what happened on the formation lap, that is precisely what happened. And I think it's a nice little just introduction to triple bypass here for you, James. I think that's all.
Yeah, that's what I said in voice chat as well with me. Oh, game chat. I'm not too sure. I think it was just a little, oi, James, get out of the way. So, but yeah, we're going to let Ashby go. Take inside, Iris. Take inside. There we go. She's gone through. And I've not got no dramas going on. However, she has got a big old slide. Hold it.
Oh!
She does a good job holding it there as well. So well done to you, Iris, for holding that one.
Yep, Iris Ashby now up into P9. She is ahead of Mike Wida, who is now into 10th place, currently coming out of the pits, and is going to be back just a little bit as the leaders cycle through. Ben Harkham, race leader, into the pits here, and we'll see how Ben Harkham comes out. It looks like Ben Harkham opting to pit ahead of Barton and Crutchley here and try to keep the lead. Parasini still hasn't been in, Corey hasn't been in, but of course Ben Harkham had that nice little gap behind him. So Ben Harkham taking that lead pit stall and will have plenty of time here to set up and get back out. And don't anticipate any issues here for him. But Barton, as it stands, will now be your race leader, lap 80. And I gotta wonder, is anyone going to try to not pit here? Is anyone going to try to not pit and make it on just one pit stop to the end?
Ooh, no. I've got to go around 5 times before I even get on a lead lap, so I could try it, but I don't know what lap did I last pit on?
You last pit, Mr. Parfitt, on lap 50.
Oh, that's 60 laps, that is.
It's pushing it. I'm not saying it's impossible. Dustin Barton's into the pits here. Mr. John the Naj Crutchley is coming out of 4 and is staying out. So Naj Crutchley, John Crutchley, currently your race leader here as it stands, as Barton is in the pits and has about a 2-second lead on Crest. So not much of a lead as it stands, but a little bit of a lead nonetheless. Ben Harkham only 3 seconds back though. And of course, Ben Harkham's been in the pits. Brad Crest has been in the pits. So we'll see if the Naj tries to keep it out. I can't imagine he's going to make it last though. We're lap 80 of 110, so we're 30 laps to go if my math serves me correct. That's a tall ask here unless he's been doing some hardcore tire saving. I don't know what he'll do, and Crest has already closed that gap down to less than half a second. So that speed difference that you talked about there, James, is huge on the new tires versus the used tires.
Oh, absolutely. There's a massive difference between them. And they've got to remember, just to keep the tires as calm as possible, because you can't go and start doing anything silly on them. Because you're sitting there going, oh, I've got grip, I'm going to go and thrash him off. You've got to make sure that you're keeping them sensible. So there is going to be a massive speed difference between the people who have pitted and the people who haven't.
For sure. Ben Harkham coming around, setting purple laps, gets right around John the Naj Crutchley, and right as he does, Mr. Crutchley rips it into the pit. So we've got a bit of a 3-way battle going here. We've got Mr. Brad Crest in the lead, Ben Harkham in P2, and Matt Parasini in P3 here. And those guys are separated by just 3 seconds.
Yeah, Dustin, go low, bud. There you go. Got to let Mr. Barton through.
Good call. Good call there to let Mr. Barton through. Of course, trying to cause no issues here as we watch everybody go through 0.3 of a second the gap in the battle for the lead. So this battle for the lead far from over now as we watch, and it looks like they aren't too far from you either, so you might get to see a little bit of the action in the rearview mirror as they come around there, James. So keep your eyes up, but I'll give you a play-by-play if you don't want to look for them and you just want to avoid them. They're going through 1 and 2 now, staying down to the inside, trying to hold on as best they can, and they're keeping things nice and comfortable here. Down the inside, they've got the number 57. Company.
You little rascal. He broke earlier than I was expecting that. And I nearly punted him up the bottom, shall we say. So